episode 15 of the JOB podcast, and today is called The Evolution and Revolution of the Black Quarterback in the NFL. I'm Dave Ford.
And I'm Todd Steele.
Guys, welcome back. It's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks, and my man right here had a late night at his Gators game, so he's happy today. Tired and happy, well worth it. It's funny because you take away that Georgia game, you guys would be in the thick of the college football playoff right now.
Yeah, it's amazing in the SEC. In a lot of other places, one game could really hurt you. I think about Notre Dame every year. Notre Dame, if they lose one game, they're out of it.
Well, they're not even a conference.
I know. And so, but places like Ohio State, who don't play a hard game until
they don't play anybody, dude.
Yeah, so they're ranked high. So we'll see what Clemson's going to do, but I really feel like it's going to be Alabama versus Oklahoma in some type of bowl game.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Want to see that.
Well, I think the TV stations will probably do that because of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Matching colors, matching history. Why not?
Yeah,
you know?
unless they make the playoffs, we'll see.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's out. I'm curious to see on Tuesday how the committee is going to vote that. Because you still have Georgia at a solid number 4. They're not going anywhere, but Florida just had a big win last night. Mm-hmm. Even though it was against a team that was going nowhere. Florida State is just not a good team right now. Yeah. They have a lot of problems. As you saw on their sideline last night, there were arguments with photographers, there were arguments with coaches.
Yeah.
They have a lot of issues going on.
It was bad. Like I said, I'll keep saying it, I don't believe it was Willie Taggart's fault. Mm-hmm. There has been a culture created that has got to be shifted. And I don't know what these young players, what's going through their mind. Watching the Georgia game yesterday, their number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Like, why get into a fight at the end zone?
And now you're suspended for the first half of the SEC championship.
Yeah, and they need him in that SEC championship game. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, LSU is a powerhouse, and
they're going to steamroll Georgia.
Yeah, they're going to need all hands on deck for that.
LSU's going to steamroll them.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for LSU to have that one slip-up game. I hope it doesn't come next week. If it do, LSU will be out. Whoever loses the SEC championship game is out.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be Georgia. It's going to be because they've limped along the way. Let's be honest. They lost to South Carolina, and I still don't know how Florida lost to Georgia. They just didn't show up that day.
We went in underestimating them. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, it was a trap game.
Yeah, it was definitely a trap game for us.
But you guys are in good hands, though, because Dan Mullen last night, I know we're sidetracking already. We have a tendency to do that. But Dan Mullen became the first Florida Gator head coach to win 10 games in his first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Urban didn't do it. Steve Spurrier didn't do it. You're in great hands. So you have nothing to worry about.
Dan Mullen is the man.
He is. I love his attitude.
Yeah, he was definitely the man. And I seen a player last night. I think it was number 89. Runs back, punts, and everything, but he got a dumb penalty, and Dan met him at the hash mark.
Tight end.
Yeah. In his behind.
He did.
I mean, that's what we got to do with these players. We've got to stop babying them. It used to be a day and age when I would go talk to college coaches about getting high school kids recruited, and they bragged on how good Florida was as far as sending the good kids that was already ready, already prepared to play on the next level, good attitude, yes sir, no sir, do exactly what you tell them. But now it's like they're trying to foster these attitudes and coach them at the same time. And, we see that being coaches now, this day and age, we see that same problem where we're trying to deal with attitudes and we're trying to coach them to be good players. But it gets to the point like, all right, am I going to sacrifice wins and losses just to have my best player on there or not on there because of attitudes? Like, what are we going to do? And then if the kids are not happy with you giving them playing time, they just quit, transfer to another school.
Sure.
In the NCAA, they'll get in the NCAA portal and be at another school next year.
It's a player's world right now.
It is definitely a player's world, and those things got to change.
Well, if you're a Gator fan, I think you should be really excited, and you're in great hands.
Yeah.
Probably the best hands you've been in a long time. I'd say even better than when you were with Urban because you're running a clean program too.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't have anybody coming in there on the back end. But today is about the NFL, and because the black quarterback has been in college football for decades.
Yes.
He's been in there. He's been entrenched, and the helmet that you see For you people on YouTube, when you get to see it, I know everybody on Facebook, you can't see it right now, but it is a throwback helmet that I was given from my parents when I was 5 years old. It is a throwback Tampa Bay Buccaneers helmet from the actually 1979 season, I believe. It has Doug Williams signed on the back and Leroy Selman, and the football is signed by Doug Williams as well. I posted last night 2 pictures of Doug, one with the Bucs, who he started out with, and then later with the Redskins when he won the 1987 Super Bowl 22 MVP and led the Redskins to a gigantic win over the John Elway-led Broncos. I remember that like it was yesterday, and bless you. And the Buccaneers, like they're doing now, with having females on the sideline as coaches, having African Americans as assistant coaches, they were way at the head of the curve having Doug Williams as a black quarterback. Back in 1977, I believe, through '83 is when he was there. And then he went to the USFL and played for the Oklahoma Outlaws. And then he came back and got back in the NFL with the Redskins. And so he was kind of the cornerstone of our show today because he is a pioneer of sorts. Not the first in the NFL, but he was the first one that was really taken seriously. And what are your memories of watching Doug? And then we'll go through down memory lane of how you and I in our childhood, because they're so closely linked, how we've seen the black quarterback evolve.
Yeah, I mean, Doug was he was revolutionary for us. You know, me as a kid, we was always taught, hey, you'll be a running back, you'll be a receiver, or you'll be a lineman, never a quarterback.
Defensive back.
Yeah, definitely DBs and all of those different things. And just to see a black quarterback was just amazing. And it's kind of like seeing President Barack Obama come in, because it's like, oh, that's something that we can do that we had never achieved.
Right. So
you look at it like that from that standpoint, but just to watch some of the things he did was magical. You take your athleticism, and because you're normally taught a quarterback is going to stay in the pocket, never run or do any of those things.
Right.
But just to see Doug Williams had an arm, and he represented us very well.
Well, and he's always been a really strong male figure too. He got a clean record off the field. He's been a good father. He's been a good spouse, and he's a very well-spoken man. He played at Grambling under Eddie Robinson. Who, if you don't know about football, do your research on Eddie Robinson, one of the greatest coaches ever, and didn't get his due. I don't know when he passed away. I think it's been several years. But he was ahead of the curve for the historically black colleges, and that's where Doug came from. And again, the Buccaneers were one of those that was an expansion team, and after picking Leroy Selman from Oklahoma as their #1 pick, kept going after African American players, so they were ahead of the curve. So I am proud of that. Not proud of our present time, what's going on right now, which leads us to Jameis Winston, who let's have a moment of silence, please. It's an absolute embarrassment. I've had some feuds online with a few of my Facebook friends on Jameis Winston who keep giving this guy chance after chance like he's a toddler. And I'm like, look, you're in year 5. Do you give coaches 5 years? No, you don't. And he's on his rookie contract. He's coming up for 2020. And I have told Demi, I've told my kids, I'm like, if we re-sign him, I am picking a new team. I'm done. They're like, you won't do that. I said, watch me. Because my daughter's like, Dad, you got too much Bucs stuff. I'm like, you know what? I don't even own a Bucs t-shirt. I have a hoodie. So it'll be a clean break. I'll get the license tag off my car. I said, let me just pick the Jets, somebody I can just start fresh with and no expectations. I'm like, I'm sick of this crap. Bruce Arians is our head coach. I love Bruce Arians, but he's disappointing me. Because all he blames is the receivers. Oh, the receivers ran the wrong route. What are you talking about? You have Mike Evans. You have Godin. What is his last name? I can't remember the last name. Number 12.
Godin.
He's actually looking better than Mike Evans. The guy is getting in the end zone every single week. He's catching balls that are on his knee, and he's getting hit at the same time, like against the Falcons last week. So, anyway, so let's go back in time here. And I showed you the list before the game, and we like to play these games like we do on our show. And so I've got a past list of black quarterbacks, and I've got a present. You got something in your eyes? It's called sleep.
It's called sleep.
What time did you get back last night, by the way? 1?
We got back at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa!
Had to wait for some parents to come pick some kids up. So I got
Wow.
home at 4. Probably was done my shower, everything by 4:30. So I laid down and closed my eyes at 5 this morning. So
Wow.
I'm on a few hours of sleep.
You are struggling. Okay. This could be a quick show today. So,
gotta give the people what they want.
yeah, so we've talked about Doug, and I think he'll keep coming into the discussion. So I bring up names like Warren Moon.
Oh man.
Warren Moon is a guy who the current generation knows nothing about.
Yeah.
He was a complete quarterback.
Yeah.
He threw for a ton of yards.
Yeah.
He didn't run.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Played in the Canadian Football League to start out because nobody took a chance on him. It was still that whole stereotype, always a black quarterback. Yeah, he was great and all that, but he ain't going to be good in the NFL. So he goes and he kills it in the CFL.
Yeah.
And the Houston Oilers say, let's give this guy a shot. He comes in, I think he had already been a professional for 4 or 5 years at that point, and he just tears the NFL apart. Randall Cunningham.
Oh man.
I get goosebumps still thinking about Randall because I knew, and I'm sure you knew, that we were seeing somebody who was out of his time. He was the future.
Yeah.
It's like he came back in time. He did things that you and I had never seen a quarterback. I don't care what color you are. Nobody was doing what he did. He was made for Monday Night Football. Killing the Giants every chance he had, running over them, flying over them. I remember one announcer asked him this question. I don't know if you remember this from NFL Films. He said, Randall, what makes you think you can fly? And Randall goes, I'm an eagle. I'm like, dude, that's golden. So yeah, and so you had Randall with the Eagles, and then you had Randall with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And when Randy Moss came in, and you had Chris Carter, that was ready-made for primetime television.
Yes.
But it was the team that never reached greatness. They went 15-1, and they lost in the NFC Championship game to the Falcons on a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So we never got to see them in a Super Bowl, and I know they would have won.
Mm-hmm. Randall Cunningham.
Dude, next guy on the list, though, was who took what Randall and Warren had done and then meshed it, Michael Vick.
Oh, man. Yeah. Listen, when I watched Michael Vick, what he did to Florida State by himself, he almost won a national championship game
1999.
by himself against Florida State. He was killing them. He just ran out of gas.
You did.
He just ran out of gas. If he'd had a little bit more in the tank, Florida State wouldn't have had that 1999 championship. That's when I was like, wow, this dude, and he was fast. 40.
Yeah, and he went to Green Bay early in his career and beat the Brett Favre-led Packers in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that going, wow, this guy's the truth. Because you just don't go into Green Bay with Brett Favre there in that cold.
And win.
And there was one play where he rolls out to the left, which was, he's left-handed. He rolls out to the left. He's got, I can't remember the defensive end. It wasn't Reggie White. Reggie was already gone. I think it was Umbubuike. It was that, remember that last
weird name?
He had him bent, and Mike just shoves him off. He had the strength to get out of it, and then laces a pass downfield.
Yeah.
He had the strength, he had the size, he had the speed, had the smarts, but he never quite had the receivers.
Yeah, he never had the receivers.
Because they built the team pretty much around what can Mike do.
Yeah. But they were like the first of their kind where I seen a team actually build around the quarterback. Usually the quarterback comes in and can run a system.
Right.
They had to create a system for Michael Vick. And sometimes when you was watching him, it was like watching somebody with a joystick.
He was a video game.
He was a different character.
You remember the Nike commercial where they said, welcome to the Michael Vick experience?
Yeah.
One of the greatest commercials since Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah. All that scrambling.
Yeah.
Balling.
Put you in a seat and you're doing like this.
Yeah, it used to drive me crazy trying to teach kids to play quarterback and they want to hold the ball like Michael Vick. I'm like, listen, don't do it.
He had gigantic hands.
Oh, man. Just don't do it.
He was a hard one for me to like because he was in my conference with the Bucks.
Yeah.
But during our Super Bowl year, if you go back, Derrick Brooks, Warren Sapp, Lynch, they shut him down when they came to Tampa because they said if we stop Michael Vick, we stopped the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a bad day.
And the thing is, they hadn't figured out with running quarterbacks, if you don't have your ends go so far out the field, if your ends come up and don't run down the field and play that position like it's true, You can stop a lot of that.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to take the end to end as to fly out the field. So then you create a pocket where the quarterback can hit one step and go.
Right.
And I think Lamar Jackson is like the most dangerous at that because his R2 button is automatic. Like most people got to gradually get their speed
Right.
up. As soon as he hit it, he's gone. I'm like, God.
Lamar is, and we were definitely going to get to him anyway. Lamar is the guy who Michael Vick laid the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
And as great as Michael was, Lamar looks like he is 2.0.
Yeah, he's Michael Vick.
He's smaller. He's smaller. He's not as big. He's not as strong. I don't even know if he's as fast.
Yeah, I think he's fast.
You think so?
Yeah.
He
said if he'd have ran the 40 at the combine, he'd have ran the 40.
Well, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see those guys go one-on-one. But I think he's more elusive than Mike.
Yeah.
Michael would run some guys over. He could split guys.
Yeah,
Lamar just doesn't get touched.
Yeah. And Michael would get hurt, though. Like, Mike became fragile.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he took too many hits. Kind of like Cam Newton, but he took too many hits. Lamar will stick his nose in there sometimes. I mean, it's like a running. I hate when Skip Bayless says this. He said he's a running back with the football. And now he's a quarterback. He just revolutionized quarterback.
We were going to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. I've done a lot of research lately. I read the Undefeated, which is on ESPN.com, and it's about African American sports.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes the writers get it wrong on there, and it's too race related.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they get it right. And so I look at William C. Roden. I actually met William. I escorted him into the Jaguars facility once. Very wonderful man. One of the greatest writers in American history.
Mm-hmm.
High respect for him as a writer. And he wrote a column about using that derogatory term, running quarterback.
Yeah.
Because we don't say that for a guy who's white.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Now, having said that, how many white guys have been running quarterbacks other than John Elway? Can you think of any?
Yeah. 49ers.
Oh, Steve Young. Okay.
Steve Young.
So two guys.
Steve Young. And but I mean, you think about it now, how many white running backs have you seen? Like now in Carolina.
He's the only one.
Man, he's a beast.
He's the only one of his kind. And I can't remember his name. What's his name?
You wouldn't ask.
I think if any other year, if Lamar wasn't around, I think he could get MVP.
Yeah.
But Lamar's going to get it.
I think Lamar definitely going to get it this year.
Who I don't know who takes it unless it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He's another guy, obviously, who's going to come up today. Who I will admit I was not a Russell believer coming out because he is a small guy.
He is very small.
Had nothing to do with his color. Yeah. He is small, and the NFL over time, people wanted to say size doesn't matter. But come on.
Yeah.
You look at Doug Flutie, who was always prejudiced against because of his size.
Yeah.
And he could do it all.
Yeah.
If Doug was playing now, and you know it's killing him,
he'd be the man.
He could be an MVP.
I mean, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is barely 6 feet tall.
Yeah. Then you got Kyler Murray now.
Yeah.
Who isn't 6 feet. He's 5'10".
5'10" and a half, on a good day.
So, I mean, the quarterback position is changing. I wanted to say this, though. I truly believe, you can quote me on this,
mm-hmm.
what Lamar Jackson is doing this year is the reason why Jalen Hurts will probably be drafted number 1.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, and I don't like to agree with you too much because we sound like we're you guys are friends and all that. But no, I said that. I don't think it was to you. I said it to somebody. It might have been my coworker because we tend to just talk about football sometimes. But yeah, I mean that's why this title, not the evolution, but also the revolution, because we're seeing all of these things, all these stereotypes. Are starting to get steamrolled now.
They're opening doors.
Yeah. The doors are getting kicked open.
Yeah, that were definitely closed before. That's right. Coach Snell said his name was Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. Thank you, Coach.
Coach Snell.
Gosh. We have brain farts now and then.
Yeah, but I mean, they like to call him, it's kind of derogatory, but I understand they call him white chocolate. And he kind of embraces that name. But he is ridiculous. Well, he's putting up this year.
And I'm hoping eventually that we just get to where we don't have any kind of labels for football players. Why can't we just call them football players?
Exactly. I mean, you think about Djanovic, is how you pronounce his name, basketball right now?
Oh, Djokovic.
Djokovic.
Yeah.
What he's doing in basketball right now, I saw a tweet this morning that I was like, they was like, they was like they're praising him for how he's playing now, and Russell Westbrook did the same thing for 3 years in a row. And I was like, but it's good to see other players come up. But you think about the NBA when Michael Jordan played. You can name a handful of superstars.
Right.
There are superstars on every team now.
Yeah.
Amazing guys. So, I mean, we put stereotypes on people. We can't just say he's a great player. He's a great quarterback. He's a great point guard. It's like, man, that's white chocolate. Oh, man, he's the way.
Well, they did the same thing. White Chocolate was the same nickname as Jason Williams. Remember Jay Will?
Yeah, Jay Will was bad.
Played at Florida and then went to play for the Kings.
Yeah, you wouldn't know Jay Will right now unless he takes his shirt off. You'll see all his tattoos. But he's not aged like super looking.
He
old,
hasn't had a good life.
Yeah, man.
He's messed around with some drugs.
Man, they remember those Nike commercials with him though?
Dude, heck, you can still pull him up on YouTube.
Yeah,
on mixtapes.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, he was sick with the
That
ball.
was bad.
He was sick. He was sick with it. And passing. I mean,
Dimes.
so here's another name for you, Don McNabb.
Oh man,
How quickly we've forgotten about him.
I definitely forgot about Donovan McNabb.
That guy could sling the ball, bro.
What did
Like
Donovan-
80 yards.
Donovan McNabb went to where? Did he go to Bethune? Where did he go to?
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Bethune. It was another guy. But yeah, Donovan McNabb, I don't think he didn't get the credit that was due because he wasn't a runner. He was a pocket passer. He was big. He was slow, and he never really won the big game like he needed to. When he had T.O. that year,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do it. And people didn't realize. I know everybody hated Terrell Owens, but Terrell Owens was like 3 weeks removed from a broken leg, something like that.
Played in the Super Bowl.
And played his behind off. And him and Donovan McNabb just could not get along because you had two guys who did it.
They were the alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, McNabb has a complicated legacy for me because Donovan was trying to be what everybody wanted him to be. He was listening to the announcers saying, oh, here we have a black quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to run? Is he going to stay in the pocket? Donovan listened too much to that.
Yeah.
And even when he became an announcer, he takes things so personally.
He definitely did.
And it's like, dude, you were really a talented quarterback. You led your team to 4 consecutive NFC championship games.
Yeah.
And obviously I know about it because my Bucks had to beat them to get to the Super Bowl. We shut the vet down.
That was a great
But he had to get through Donovan, so I had the utmost respect for him. And it's like, you didn't have to be anybody else, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went to the Redskins, it just wasn't the same. He didn't fit there. And so he just he left the NFL with a whimper.
Yeah.
And that's why he has a complicated legacy for me, but an amazing player. And next I've got Robert Griffin III, who
RG3.
he's still in the league as the backup for Lamar Jackson.
Hey, he did good when he got in the game the other night. I mean, we easily forgot about RG3.
He was a flash in the pan.
He played hurt when I think he shouldn't.
He shouldn't have been playing, right?
He should not have played, and I think that's what kind of did his career in.
He did.
Coach Snell said something interesting. He said the foundation has been laid for these up-and-coming superstars years ago. The fans, media, critics are those who label these athletes on every level in every sport. So, like you said, I do believe the foundation has definitely been laid years ago, and we're starting to see it revolutionize, I guess we could say, because now everybody is more accepting to the things. Dak Prescott in Dallas, but I don't know if he's going to get paid. At one point, I thought he was going to get paid, but now it's kind of brushing him off. But see, I feel like y'all's quarterback next year is going to be probably Cam Newton.
I don't want him.
Yeah,
And the only reason
feel like that's what's going to happen.
I don't think when you've got an injury like that, I can never remember the name of it. Liz Frank.
Yeah,
Liz Frank. It's a foot injury.
yeah.
Guys don't typically heal well from that. So whatever Cam Newton I were to inherit with the Bucks is not going to be the Cam Newton that we all know. He's not that MVP. He's not Superman. And his style of play, he's damaged goods, dude.
Yeah.
I think Cam Newton's career, as we know it, is RIP already.
Mm.
And that's a shame. It's a shame because, again, he's another complicated one for me. In his prime, fun to watch.
Yeah.
But he ran his mouth too much for me.
Yeah.
And then he has made it about himself. He became too selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to get the perspective of my good friend Steven, who is the #1 guy for PR. I used to work with him with the Jags. He is right next to Cam everywhere he goes, pulling his luggage on Monday Night Football. He's on there on the sideline. I'd love to get his perspective on how Cam really is, because I don't think we know Cam Newton. He hasn't let us get to know him.
Nah, I mean, it's kind of like Antonio Brown. If you pay a person, then you start to see who their real character is. And Antonio Brown became this character once he got paid. I think Cam Newton became this character once he got paid. But I do feel like Cam will eventually come back, just because of the way Cam was raised. Cam was raised and brought up in the church. His dad is a pastor, preacher. I feel like Cam Newton will get in a place where he can pray. And I think the latter part of his career, yeah, you probably won't get MVP Cam, but I believe you can get more accurate Cam. I don't know, just depending on that foot injury.
Well, it's going to make him be in the pocket.
Yeah.
He's never really been confident as a pocket passer. He wants to go steamroll you because that's what he did. But we saw that guy take too many head-to-head shots.
Yeah.
It's because of him that helmet-to-helmet rule was instituted.
Yeah.
Because he was leading with his helmet. And I get it. When you're 6'6", and you are that imposing. I mean, I remember standing just 10 feet away from the guy in Tampa going, wow. Like, you and I growing up, that would have been a tight end.
Definitely.
So he's a tight end as a quarterback, super talented, but you just can't take shots like that. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And so he led to his own demise.
Yeah.
I think if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't play like that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you now, though, if Tim Tebow was playing college football right now, going in the NFL, I think he would definitely be he was a number one pick anyway. But I think they would give him more of a chance now versus saying he can't throw, he can't do this. I think the NFL as we know it is just changing.
Oh, we're in the golden age right now of seeing
because
that.
You think about all the quarterbacks that could possibly be in the NFL, and it's amazing numbers. I think now to be a quarterback, you got to be mobile. Aaron Rodgers runs some. He doesn't run as much now, but in his early years, Aaron Rodgers would get out of there.
He doesn't get credit for that either.
Yeah, I watched Bo Nix yesterday with Auburn. This is why Auburn won, because the boy started using his wheels.
Mm-hmm.
He started taking off, and so those third and super longs, he would make them short. He would either get first down and then or second and longs. He would get it to where it was third and manageable.
Yeah.
Using his feet, but they hadn't ran him all year because he's listed as a pocket passer. The quarterback position is definitely changing.
Well, and again, great point, because typically we'd say that term, the prototypical quarterback.
Yeah.
But what is that anymore?
Exactly.
We don't have a prototype. He used to be Drew Bledsoe, 6'4", coming in at 255 pounds, standing tall, seeing over the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Well, that dude now can't run.
Yeah.
That dude now can't get outside of the pocket. And so Tom Brady, as we see, for all of his greatness, has never been mobile.
No.
And now he's not accurate anymore.
Yeah.
And he never has had a really, really super strong arm. So that quarterback that we've seen and that we've used that word prototype, that's the past now. And if you're not with it, you're going to get left behind. So I think it's open season, and that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah. But I mean, I just wish it would have happened earlier, because now Lamar Jackson is making everybody say, oh, because you think about it, people want to change his position. He's going to be a great receiver when he gets to the NFL. He's going to be this when he gets to the NFL. His mom would only let him go to Louisville if they promised her they wouldn't change his position from quarterback. Because they wanted all the colleges was recruiting him as a receiver / running back. And she said, no, my son plays quarterback. And she stuck to her guns. I mean, great for mom. She stuck to those guns. But I look now, I'm like, man, if Tim Tebow was coming to the NFL right now, look out.
Timing's everything.
And I mean, the thing is, the kid, with him, all he did was win.
Yeah.
And for everybody to sit back and just pick his arm apart, oh, he can't throw, oh, he can't do this. Let him throw how he throws. We've got to stop trying to change our athlete. You're up here. It's certain motions that you need to have.
Right.
In a lot of ways, he was inaccurate. But how many times have we watched the backup quarterback not be ready to step in and play? Like Lamar Jackson last year was a backup quarterback. And when, what's his name? When he got hurt.
Gosh.
Brain.
Quarterback for the Broncos now you're talking about?
Yeah. When he got hurt and Lamar went in, and they was like, well, he can't throw the ball. And I'm like, what do y'all teach y'all backup quarterbacks to do? Like, what do they do the whole time? They just stand around and hold a jersey like this? Like, they need those reps to be able to come in the game, and
Right.
nothing stops. When Teddy Bridgewater came in for Drew Brees, the Saints didn't stop. But how easily we forgot about Teddy Bridgewater, what he did in Minnesota. But as soon as he took a severe leg injury. He wasn't supposed to.
He's on the list, my man.
And they just booted Teddy Bridgewater out like he couldn't play quarterback.
He needs to come to my team. That's who I want. I want Teddy Bridge.
Hey, Teddy Bridge will throw that thing. I love Teddy Bridgewater, but he gambled on himself because he was supposed to go to Miami this year. Miami offered him the starting quarterback job, and he was like, "Nah, I think I'm gonna stay with the Saints."
Smart man.
He gambled on himself and won.
Yep.
And now his stock just went through the roof.
Because he went 5-0.
Yeah.
And he looks better than ever. He looks healthier than ever.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if the Bucs don't look at him, then they just don't deserve to win.
Yeah,
Period.
I think the Saints are going to re-sign him. I think the Saints are going to, because you think about Drew Brees is like, these are the last
He's
years.
right, yeah.
So, I mean, and I know Drew don't want to play. Drew's a family guy. He wants to see his sons. He wants to play football and do all those things with
He
his
loves
kids.
the game.
So, I really believe it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater's team next year. Hey,
You're breaking my heart, man.
But listen, Miami was trying to tank for Tua. And
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah, now Tua's out. But you think about the style of play that he plays, and and if you look at Lamar Jackson's body from Louisville to now, it's a total transformation. His muscles got muscles.
Yeah, well, Tua was going to be a 30 for 30 special,
Yeah.
where he had this bright future. He came in and rescued Alabama from the depths, and I don't think we're ever going to see Tua excel in the NFL.
Yeah.
Love the kid. He's got such a positive attitude. His interview yesterday on his crutches in the hallway.
That's crazy.
You got to love him just to be around your team.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see that kid play. I don't even know if he's ever going to suit up in the NFL. When you have a hip injury like that,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Well, they claim it's not like Bo Jackson. That's what they're saying now, but I don't know. Coach Snell got a very interesting question.
Well, he's active
Yeah,
today.
he's very active today. He said, speaking on that topic about Lamar Jackson and being recruited, does that change the future athlete's mindset on sticking to their position and demanding a shot at the specific position?
Yeah, absolutely. Because before the coaches had that leverage to talk you into being something. Well, you don't fit here for us, son, but you can fit here. The guys can say, "No, I'm a quarterback."
Yeah.
You know, and again, we talked about Tebow, who stuck to his guns. I'm a quarterback. I'm not a fullback.
They want
I'm not a tight end.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, to answer that question, absolutely. And that's why I said I think we're in the golden age of the non-prototypical quarterback. No matter what color you are,
Yeah.
if you've got the skill set, why can't you be a quarterback?
Yeah.
Prove me wrong is what I would say.
I think a lot of fault too falls onto these college programs. They don't develop players for the next level.
Except for Alabama.
And I think that's why we succeed so much in our coaching, because when we're coaching you for the next level. So
Right.
if I'm coaching you in middle school, I'm coaching you for high school. If
Right.
I'm coaching you in high school, I'm coaching you for college. A lot of these programs are just system programs.
Yeah.
I was watching a special on Megatron
Mm.
the other day, and I was like, I did not know he played at Georgia Tech.
You didn't know that?
No, with
Yeah.
all of that skill set, why would you go run the wing team? I mean, he broke every passing record, receiving record they had.
Yeah.
But like me as a player, if I'm a quarterback especially, Georgia Tech is the last school I'm going to. If I'm a running back, yeah, I'll go there and I'll be featured. But a lot of these kids, they don't get a lot of the offers they want, so they're kind of forced into a system, and then they pray about it. Like,
Right.
man, I pray somebody in the NFL sees me
Mm.
and hope I go further. But a lot of these places are like system. You come in and run our system, and then we'll see about getting you to the NFL. Alabama is not, but up until Tua, I hadn't really seen Alabama develop a quarterback.
Well, no, they hadn't. And they have a few guys in the NFL that are still there as backups, but yeah, not developing them.
Yeah, I hadn't
Right.
seen them develop a quarterback. Receivers, running backs, heck yeah, all day.
Offensive linemen,
Offensive linemen,
defensive linemen,
defensive-
linebackers, they're all over the
Yeah,
NFL.
they go everywhere. But their quarterback play, it's like they're running a system that, okay, we can just march down the field because we got the running backs to do it. But I'm trying to think of a good place that actually develops like quarterbacks.
I think we're seeing that in Clemson
Definitely, yeah, Clemson.
because of Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
and now we've got Tyler. Is that his name? Tyler.
Yeah, Brain fart.
Can't remember his name either. Goodness gracious. Maybe it's Kyler. Tyler, I can't remember his name. Number
Yeah.
16, sophomore, long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Great White Hope, as they call him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Clemson would be a great place to go to develop those quarterbacks right now.
Definitely Clemson. University of Florida.
Florida's always been a great place for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. FSU has been as well.
Florida State. Florida State's had a couple of quarterbacks that really intrigued me. And Miami at one point, but oh my God, Miami has failed from.
Well, yeah, they had Bernie Kosar, they had Jim Kelly, they had Steve Walsh.
Yeah, but yesterday Miami couldn't beat Duke.
Dude, Miami's not the Miami. We talked about this in our college show that to start college football this year. We as college football fans need Miami to be good again. And
Yeah.
I was really hoping that they'd be good again. We need FSU as much as you hate them. We need them to be good again.
Snell knows all the answers too. He was like Lawrence is the guy we're talking about. He's also very active as a head coach.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor
What was I saying? Taylor. Oh,
Yeah.
way off.
As a head coach, do you pass on a kid because he doesn't want to change his position? And then he also said, does that affect how the school recruits the player? I'm gonna tell you, Alabama was doing something that was very unfair for a while,
What's that?
and they kind of got caught on to. Say Florida State is recruiting their quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and he's probably number one on the list, and Alabama's already got a number one on the list. Alabama will go recruit that same kid just to pull from Florida State and then just throw him on their bench
Yeah.
because he can't beat out the other quarterback.
Right.
Alabama was notorious for just getting those players and just having them.
Stockpiling.
Yeah, but a lot of them now are like one and done. So it kind of makes sense, but that's what they were doing. They were stockpiling these kids, and a lot of these kids are making a lot of wrong decisions. I would go to a school where I'm going to play now. A lot of us are fans of certain schools, and if that school recruits us, oh man, that's my dream to go there. I need to go where I'm going to play at and where I'm getting most notice. I can do better at.
Mm-hmm.
So me, if the University of Florida was recruiting me, and I see they got 3 number 1 running backs, and I play running back position, but Georgia only has 1, and he needs a backup, and we can fight for this position. 9 times out of 10, I need to go to Georgia. I mean, I can still be a Florida fan,
Right.
but a lot of kids are getting confused with what's best for them versus being a fan. So
Very
that's
true.
a different topic.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, there's a myriad of different angles we can go at.
Cameron, how long do you think it will be before my Canes make it back to being able to compete with other top college programs? There's a bullseye on Florida right now. Everybody wants our kids. So if you look at a lot of places like Ohio State, Oklahoma, they recruit heavy out of Florida.
Right. Always have.
Our problem is, as being a teenager, what school is more attractive to me? If I stayed in Miami my whole life, do I want to go to school in Miami? Or would I rather go to school somewhere in Oklahoma, out in the boonies, just totally away from Miami? I think our Florida schools have got to start attacking Alabama like Nick Saban attacks Alabama. Alabama has some great players.
You got to lock down.
Yeah, on up to Mobile, that area, Montgomery, those teams are super stacked. And in our mind is we just want to get Florida kids. We got to start going outside of Florida and recruiting more kids and make our programs more attractive.
Got to look at Texas.
Yeah, definitely got to look at Texas. And it's all about the program. Whatever program has most money. Like last night they showed a video of Florida's new training facility.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But these schools have got to start pumping money back into those programs, and we got to start recruiting better. I think it all starts in high school too. Coaches got to do a better job of getting these kids recruited. Like I said, we get into this point where we're just running a system, and we try to plug kids here and plug kids there, and then if you're a fan in the audience and they tell you you really don't need to be talking because you don't know football, but you've watched Lil Junior play since he was 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you know he's probably the best quarterback around here, we need to start talking to these coaches. I really feel like, and I may be being biased on this, but I really feel like our recruitment process from high school is awful now. We need to start hiring more local coaches that can get these kids look, and then start to develop them instead of bringing in guys from Alaska somewhere that comes in. I'll tell you the problem. If your coach doesn't go to church in your neighborhood or goes to any sporting events or just goes around and meet everybody, he's really not going to know these kids until he gets to see them. But I think it's a terrible recruiting process we got going on in Florida right now.
I think, well, let me bring up something controversial too, and I know you got more than enough to speak on this. We're about 40 minutes into the show, and
and nowhere near where we need to be.
Well, let's get into America and how ready America is, for this kind of change. Okay, and I think the angle, you and I have talked about this guy off here many, many times. Colin Kaepernick, okay, and I'm not even going to go backwards. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about him right now. I think, and I'm just going to give you my take.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with disliking or liking him. It's not personal. What I'm going to say about Colin Kaepernick is this. To me,
Mm-hmm.
as an outsider, he proved to me he does not want to play football 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I have read a lot of things since then. I have looked at a lot of announcers, Stephen A. A lot of guys have gotten all these different takes.
Yeah.
But my take is my take only. And what he did with his drama, with 2.5 hours until his tryout, he wants to move the venue, and he wants to have a camera crew, and he wants to have Nike film a commercial.
Yeah.
It was unprecedented, where the NFL has never done this much to give one guy his own tryout.
Yeah.
So what made him think that he was that special to get this kind of treatment? And he comes out and he's got his own receivers. We don't know who these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they're going to be homers for Colin Kaepernick. They're out there doing the hip check up in the air and high five, and
Mm-hmm.
I was left almost feeling like this was not reporter Dave, this was not adult Dave. If I was a fan, I'm like, dude, I wanted to be like, I don't get it, Colin. What did you just do? You waited 3 years to do that?
Yeah.
And that's the best that you've got? And so I'd say, if I was a reporter, which he didn't take questions, which I thought was cowardly too,
Mm-hmm.
I would have said, so what about what you just did today prove that you want to play football, Colin?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how you'd answer that question. What's your take on that?
I think it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about. Once I found out it was a different waiver that the NFL would have him sign. Usually workouts are done on Tuesdays. Why was this done on a Saturday? Them arguing from Wednesday about this particular waiver. Stephen A. brought up those waivers, and Stephen A. was like, yeah, there is some different language in there, but, it's basically telling Colin, sign this, and we got a couple teams that really want to look at you,
Right.
but we're going to have 28 there. And Colin was he just wasn't willing to sacrifice himself. And now it got to the point where they said they feel like he wants to be more of a mortar than versus playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think Colin wants everything to be done right. In a perfect world, we wish. And it's not going to be done right. But he has made it a habit now doing things by his terms. And I guess he felt like, hey, you guys have lied to me for 3 years. Why should I trust you now?
But if Ty Steele wants to play football that bad, do you care what the language is?
Yeah, I would care what the language is.
That was your last shot.
Yeah, but like right now, if a certain school called me and said, hey, I want you to be my head football coach, there's no way in the world I'm taking that job. I wouldn't do it.
Why?
Because of how they treat it. And I would never trust them again. So there's definitely a trust issue on that. But I wouldn't go back to that certain school because I felt like they lied to me. I did everything I could do. And this is when you get to a point like it's different Colin Kaepernick. When I was doing everything right and I got done wrong, that put me in a place of where I was broken and I was like, I didn't want to coach anymore.
No, I get that. I guess I know there's no clear answer to that.
Yeah.
But you have to understand from the outside perspective for people in America, just watching this whole thing unfold,
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes it so complicated. I don't even think complicated does it justice. It's worse than complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy has made it his life and his agenda to make a statement, yet when it came down to playing just football,
Yeah.
Let's put, okay, Michael Jordan over here, who I've said on this show, I thought he was colorless. I never saw Michael Jordan as a black man.
Yeah.
Because he transcended it.
Yeah.
Because he said things like Republicans buy shoes too.
Yeah.
Michael never made it about black and white, never made it about politics, and we love him for that.
Yeah.
Not because he shut up and just played basketball, but because he loved his sport.
Yeah.
And I would ask Colin, if you really love football, if you really want to be something special and you want to be Muhammad Ali, last I checked, Muhammad Ali still boxed, man.
Yeah,
He made his statement, he came back and he boxed. Colin has just effectively taken himself out of the football conversation. He's never going to play in the NFL again.
Yeah.
He's never going to play football anywhere. And if he does pop up, it's going to be a joke in the XFL.
Yeah.
Or he'll pop up in the CFL. But he's going to end up like Doug Flutie, looking on the outside saying, I could have been, should have been, I played in the Super Bowl. And that's his fault, dude.
Yeah, but it's like what we're talking about right now. Colin is trying to change the narrative. From the shirt he had on, where he said Kunta Kinte.
But you can't wear that, coach.
But he's felt like the whole time, and you look at it, the NFL is probably 80% black.
Yeah, at least.
It is not a players' league. There are people that own the team are called owners. The last thing as a black man that you want to play for is somebody that's being called an owner. I don't want nobody to take ownership of me. So what Colin is...
They own the team, they own the players.
But I mean, but you have to look at it from that standpoint. So he's trying to change the narrative. Everything, the NFL is this way, that way, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Listen, Colin Kaepernick was from the lights getting cut off to win in the Super Bowl. Had the lights never got turned off, he would have won the Super Bowl. He would have beat the Baltimore Ravens because they was killing them.
They were.
And then that's what I was going to tell you now. Lamar Jackson is making a lot of them think, like, man, should we take a chance on Colin? I mean, I don't know when he'll play. I think he'll play a couple games in the NFL. Like you said, it might be a joke, but what if it blows up? America's not ready for that.
I just don't think they're going to allow. See, and that's another reason why the NFL did what it did, is it didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
The NFL already settled with him. We know how much money he got paid.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of mystery here, other than I'd love to sit with Colin in a room where nobody else was around, and just man to man, say, look, dude, as much as I love basketball, had anybody written anything like saying, Dave, if you come out and you break your leg in our tryout, we're not liable. Okay,
Yeah. Well,
I'll sign it.
They said in the wording it was changed to where the NFL wouldn't be liable
I know.
for any more lawsuits. He gave up his right to do anything.
Yeah, well,
So he was like, is that really worth it?
but what else are you going to take the NFL to court for? You already got millions of dollars.
Yeah, but I mean, every reporter on the news right now has agreed. And not one person has not said that he has not been blackballed. And he has been blackballed from the NFL. And I think the NFL, with Jay-Z, what Jay-Z's trying to do, they all came and said, you know what, let's get together and let's have a workout for him. That way he can't say he hadn't had a workout. Because regardless of they look at it a lot, when he puts out the Nike videos or the videos, day 800, no workout. I'm still working out 5 days a week. I'm still doing this and still in shape. But he's in his 30s now. So how much longer can he play? He has decided to take his career this way. And, you know, that's on him. But you think about, and I tell you, what Muhammad Ali did was more unpopular than what Colin Kaepernick did. You think about the 60s when Muhammad Ali
It was
did
completely different.
and it was like, you are turning your back on your country. You are not fighting for your country. You are not doing this. You are not doing, and like what he took a stance for was way more
Important.
yeah, and it was deeper. I was like, man. So they would kill Muhammad Ali right now. He would never get a chance to box again right now. But because he did it in the period that he did, people start to forget about it. And it's like, all right, the war is over now, and he became the love. But there was a period in time when he was hated.
I know.
Couldn't get a fight. He had to go to Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Beg him
Fought him
for
3
a fight,
times.
beg him for a fight, and do all those things. He was booed coming in the ring. People still booed him to this day, but they love him. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's about being on the right side of history. End of the day, he'll be on the right side of history because the NFL will change. Because the people or the powers that be are eventually going to get old. They're going to die. Their children are all about equality and mixture, and it's going to be a different world. We're going to start seeing a different world. 20 years from now, when we're in our 60s, we're going to sit back on our porch and be.
We're still gonna be arguing about it.
Bro, look, I told you. But if what he's doing it at his own terms, and they've lied to him for 3 years. So it's like being in a bad relationship for 3 years, and all of a sudden the woman says, I really want to make it work this time. Let's try it one more time. You're not going to be totally believing. And both sides don't trust each other, period.
Well, I understand that.
He didn't know what the workout was going to be. He didn't know who his receivers were going to be. So the same thing he said for the NFL was the same thing for him. They should have got together and said, okay, this is the date that it's going to be on. These are the receivers. Well, we want to have one of our receivers. You have one of your receivers. There was no compromise. He was just told to be here, and there was no change.
I respect your point of view. I got to disagree, and it's because Hugh Jackson was going to run the workout.
Yeah.
Okay. Hugh Jackson is an African American coach, guy that the Cleveland Browns fired.
Yeah.
But I think he's a super talented, super smart coach.
Definitely.
So why wouldn't you let him run your workout? I just think that Colin has sabotaged himself.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I will always believe that. You can't change my mind about it.
Yeah.
And let me circle back to Muhammad, and we'll get off of that. The reason that we love him, the reason that he is beloved, when it comes down to it in America, it's about sports. We love our sports. We love giving people a second chance. We love seeing them come back from the so-called dead to have glory again. If Colin would have if he just would have compromised and said, I don't like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And if we just talk about the workout in itself, what did he really show us in the workout? He just went out there and threw the ball around.
Oh yeah.
We didn't see him do anything special. We didn't see him get plays thrown at him in adverse situations. We didn't see any situational drills. We just saw him throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
I was like, whoop de freaking do. He's got a great arm. We knew that.
Yeah.
He's still young. He never seemed like he was the brightest guy on the field.
Yeah.
He's not the most well-spoken guy. When he talked in front of those reporters last week, and I'm like, you didn't make yourself sound really smart, because he came off as defiant. He's metaphorically putting the middle finger up to the NFL.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a job, if Ty Steele goes into an office, you don't wear an inflammatory shirt. You don't flip the finger off at your boss or your prospective boss and say, you're going to give me a job because you owe me. It's not the way America works.
Yeah. But that's the problem. The narrative needs to change.
But you can't be defiant though like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be defiant on a job interview. And I would never do that. But Colin Kaepernick is a talent. Colin Kaepernick is very talented. Like I said, they would never cut the lights off. He would have won the Super Bowl. Period, point blank, any discussion. They cut the lights off. I was like, oh, this is rigged. This is really rigged. Ray Lewis is going to go out in the Super Bowl. I've seen it all happening. But Colin Kaepernick is doing it his way. And he's showing America, he's showing the world, like, listen, you guys got to get out of this good old boy system, and let's have some real discussion. It's not about kneeling anymore. I think, like Jay-Z said,
we moved on.
We have grown from kneeling. But
Yeah.
think about, why was he kneeling? Who told him to kneel? This is more respectful. And all I'm saying is, what Muhammad Ali did was way worse than what Colin did.
The risk was higher. Yeah.
If right now, if I say, you know what, I'm in the military, all right, y'all signed in the military, we got to go fight in the war, and I say, I'm not going. Because, America is my enemy right now. I mean, I'm not treated fairly as a black man, so why should I go fight some people that I don't have any problem with? When are we going to fight the war right here? When are we going to say, all right, we love each other, let's do this, let's do that? So what he's doing, Coach Snell said something, what message is he sending to future generations who just want to play ball? The thing is, he's telling them, listen, you got great responsibility. You got to be more than an athlete. You can't be in the end zone scoring a touchdown fighting Mr. Number One from Georgia. You can't do those things. You have great responsibility right now. It was cool to have dumb athletes back in the days, just dumb jocks, and they were on steroids. Hulk Hogan was probably dying. Like, when I loved Hulk Hogan the most, he was out on steroids like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool for those things, but now we call them student athletes. So you should be able to get up and speak in front of any camera, talk, have something educated to say, do all of those things. I don't want my athletes to be just dumb anymore. Because what am I teaching the kids? You can be dumb and just make millions of dollars. No, you gotta have a degree. You gotta be smart. So, but like I said, we're definitely not gonna agree on it.
No.
And listen, I think what Colin is doing is he's doing it his own way. He's like, listen, you blackballed me for so long. And if it doesn't work now, it's just on me. Because I tried to believe you guys for so many years. I watched you bring guys out of retirement 3-4 years that hadn't played football 3-4 years and just constantly skip over me and tell me there's not an issue. And there is an issue. And I think the people went so hard at Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith had already recorded that interview before, or did what he was going to say before Colin even got done.
Right.
He had already based his opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people are so heavy on, I mean, Stephen got ripped. When I watched Terrell Owens tell Max Kellerman.
Yeah, and I defended Stephen on that too.
Yeah, and I mean, he went in.
Yeah.
But Max Kellerman, if you know his history, Max Kellerman he started off as a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I think I showed you.
And then a boxing analyst, yeah.
Yeah. Max Kellerman recognized that he's like, yeah, there is some discrepancies and everything. And so I'm going to use my privilege to speak for those that can't speak. That's the same thing that Colin is saying. I'm going to use what I got. I got millions of dollars in me. If I don't throw another football next day in my life, I'm good.
Right.
I want to play football. But if I don't, I got millions and millions of dollars, and I've put my money where my mouth is. I've given millions of dollars back to these communities, just like the NFL has. So he's done all of those things. So he said, if I don't play another down, I'm going to do it my way. And if I go out in flames, I'm going to go out in flames my way. He refuses to basically bow down to the NFL. And the NBA doesn't make their players bow down. Why should the NFL do the same thing?
The NBA's got its own set of problems. The NBA's got a lot of problems. Called China, number one. But yeah, we can get into that on a different way.
That's what we need, Coach Snell. Coach Snell said, is there an issue with high schools not having those public speaking classes to prepare our kids for the world?
Absolutely.
Do have those classes. I took public speaking when I was in public speaking, leadership and development, all of that. I was taught how to go to job interviews, do all of those things. And now,
I didn't have it until college.
yeah, I had it in high school. But now they don't have like leadership and debate. We even learn how to debate healthy. Like, most people get mad.
Arguing. I think it's just arguing.
Yeah, and just start screaming. I'm like, it's a debate.
Right.
You're not gonna get mad at me at the end of it. You're gonna look at me crazy. I'm not gonna look at you crazy. It's just a healthy debate.
Yeah, we as Americans don't know how to talk to each other. That's something that we've talked
And
about.
that's what Snell said. Our kids should not have to wait until they're grown to learn how to address the media and talk openly in publicly. That is a responsibility that we need to learn on their own. Like, we need to start teaching that at a young. Even when the newspaper come up to them, like when they first get to high school, when they're, hey, how do you feel? And I always teach mine. Listen, don't say You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we went down there, no,
yeah.
No, speak, talk.
I want to give a shout out to Jerry Peace, one of my players over at Mosley. The News Herald did a great story on him recently, and if you haven't read that yet, I love Jerry. He's such a good kid. I'm proud to call him one of my players. I'm proud to coach him. He's always smiling, and he's one of the kids that went through a lot during Hurricane Michael, went down to Tampa, and get this, he played at my high school.
Wow.
Small world, dude.
I'm going to tell you how amazing Jerry is. Jerry was one of the first kids I walked through the sinner's prayer after practice. He said, Coach, I want to be saved. And we walked through it. Jerry is a great kid, great young man.
Yes.
Sky's definitely the limit for that kid. I love Jerry.
we need more up and comers like him, because he's grateful for everything he's got. He is a pleasure to coach, and I hope every coach out there gets a chance to coach a guy like him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's circle through some players that are going to be on display today. We've talked about Lamar going head to head against what's the 49ers quarterback. I can't remember his name now. That's going to be the showcase game today.
7 o'clock.
We talked about Dak Prescott, and you saying, is he going to get his money? I don't think he's going to, because Dak right now is a guy, if he didn't have the best offensive line in the league, and if he didn't have one of the best running backs in the league, I don't think we're talking about Dak Prescott.
And Dak he's putting up some monster numbers, though. Even those games he loses.
He makes so many mistakes, Coach.
But he throws 355 to 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, what else can you ask for him?
But he's along the lines of Jameis.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to be, I think Dak gets another coach, we'll see Dak then. I do think Dak is going to get paid because who else does the Cowboys have?
No, I'll say he's the best quarterback they've had in a while.
Yeah. I mean, would you take Dak or Jameis right now?
That's a dead heat, coach.
I'll take Dak.
That's a dead heat, coach.
Listen, my starting quarterback's name today is Duck.
You don't have a starting quarterback. You don't have a starting quarterback. You can throw an Arena League quarterback in there with you guys in your helmet bowl. Let's get some other names on here. Deshaun Watson. I love watching this guy play.
Great talent.
He's going to be on display against the Patriots tonight.
Didn't he go through, how many years was he at Clemson? I think he was at Clemson like 3 to 4 years.
He was there 3 years, won a national title with him.
Yeah, he went through the program in the process of being a quarterback, learning how to read.
And that's why I say it's a great program.
Yeah, I mean, right now, me coaching quarterbacks in high school, I tell them all the time, what's a cover 3? What's a cover 2? What are you looking at?
Mm-hmm.
All right, when you go home and play Madden football, look at the defense before you hit the B button or X button to get your playoff.
Right.
And it shows you what the defense is, shows you where your zones are, and that's why you got to start to read those defenses. So being a part of a system, I think, really helped Deshaun.
Well, you have to study the game. You have to be a student of the game. And a lot of these guys we've mentioned have, like Michael Vick, he, to his own admission, on his NFL Life show, he said, I didn't watch film.
Never watched film.
And that's a tragedy because had he watched film, Coach, we would have been talking about a different dude.
Yeah.
But he made a living off his athleticism.
Yeah.
We've coached guys like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, Michael Vick, what was around Michael Vick is what hurt Michael Vick. If you don't have any friends around you that's holding you accountable.
Real friends.
Yeah, they're not holding you accountable for anything. You need to find some new friends. And that was Michael Vick's biggest problem. That was his downfall. He would have retired in Atlanta right now.
And people need, and this is me, and this might make some people upset, especially you dog lovers out. I love dogs.
Yeah.
Michael Vick has paid his penance. He is very ashamed of what he did. He still does public service now. He still goes to counseling now for somebody that's even like an AA kind of thing. He goes to things like that. He talks to schools. So I don't want to hear anybody saying he killed dogs. I will never forgive him. Yeah. Get over yourself.
I mean, they never got mad at Roy Jones. And Roy Jones still fights chickens.
Very true.
To this day.
He learned how to box from chickens.
Yeah, he fights chickens, chase chickens. He
Same thing.
And even he simulated his defense based off of chicken when he stuck his neck out. Man, we can go on and on.
Yeah, we can.
But I mean, that was a lifestyle. Does it make it right? No, but that's what they was raised up on. So.
Some guys in the past that have really gotten pushed under the rug. I'm just going to throw these names at you. Steve McNair.
Yeah,
we've forgotten about him.
Aaron McNair.
Passed away, was murdered in a murder-suicide. But I'll never forget Steve McNair when he was dead to rights in the Super Bowl. Was being pulled. His face was looking at the turf. Yeah. He pulls out of it and throws a dart for the second to last play before the Super Bowl, and they almost beat the Rams.
Yeah. Was it about a yard?
Yeah. He was stretching, just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, 1 yard.
One of the greatest Super Bowls ever. Aaron Brooks, who played for the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-Drew Brees. He gets forgotten about because people are like, who was the quarterback there before Drew Brees? They just can't remember. It was Aaron Brooks. Cordell Stewart, your man, Slash, back in the day, who is the epitome of the NFL not wanting to commit to a black quarterback. Is he not?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
How complicated was that for you? Again, like, dude, either call him a quarterback, call him a receiver, call him a running back. They did everything with the guy.
They put him everywhere, all over the field.
And he played, and we never cuss on this show, but he played pissed off because of the fact that his coach, Bill Cowher, wouldn't commit to him being a quarterback. Yeah. I think he's still angry to this day.
Yeah. And I mean, he doesn't speak on it a lot, but I know there's definitely a lot of frustration there with the Steelers. Like I said, it had to be, somebody had to set the tone. Somebody had to go in and not necessarily be the guinea pig, but be the guinea pig.
He was the guinea pig. He was ahead of his time.
And they had to show that it worked. I'm just mad that we traded away, I think, Dobson. We traded him to somewhere. But he was our backup. He'd have been a great backup if Ben would have went out because he'd been in the system for like 2 or 3 years, and it really would have worked.
Oh, Dobbs?
Yeah, Dobbs.
Dobbs, yeah. No eyebrows?
Yeah, definitely no eyebrows.
You know how smart that kid is? He's a rocket scientist.
Yeah, he's definitely a rocket scientist.
He'll be okay. Don't worry.
But he's still in the NFL. He's a backup
We had Charlie Batch. Remember Charlie Batch? He was a good quarterback.
Hey, and then you go back and think about the XFL. What was the quarterback's name? He hate me
Yeah.
because he came.
Well, he wasn't a quarterback. He was a DB.
What was the guy's name?
You talking about who was quarterback for the Steelers?
Randall? Yeah. What was his name?
He was a white guy.
Yeah, but he came from the XFL.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was during the time of Cordell Stewart. They was throwing him out there at receiver and all that. They wanted a gunslinger. They was used to, like, this NFL right now, Dan Marino would never survive it.
Mm-mm.
He would never survive the NFL.
No, because
you think about Dan Marino, those two big knee braces, but he would sit back and just pick you apart.
he was a transformer.
Yeah, I'm reminded though when Danny Warfel and I think it was E.G. Green came to Panama City, played Rutherford. They was both at Fort Walton High School.
Yes.
Man, listen, Danny Warfel was like one of the fastest white guys I had ever seen running the doggone option. And then he gets to Florida, he has these two big knee braces on.
Couldn't go anywhere.
He's not moving. And I'm like, what did y'all do to him?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it now, the NFL is willing to change. Instead of making the quarterback play the system, they start to build around that quarterback. And I think that's what a lot's going on with Dak Prescott. But he has so much around him. And
He does.
And they keep blaming the coach, but I don't think another coach could have survived up under Jerry Jones.
They're not going to get rid of Jason Garrett.
Well, they said at the end of the year he's gone.
I don't believe it because
the whispers are Urban Cryer. That's who Dallas is going after. He hasn't coached in the NFL, been successful in college, but
he's going to coach at USC.
Watch. But he just allows stuff to happen. I mean, like you said, we got to see a 30 for 30 on the Florida Gators when everybody was there. I'm just curious to know what was going on in that.
And I'd love to be the reporter doing it.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a name on this list we haven't talked about yet. Vince Young.
Oh man.
He could do it all.
Yeah, I love Vince Young.
But he got mental.
Yeah.
Second season for the Titans, the crowd was yelling at him, and he got so hurt that he never recovered. But at the Rose Bowl against USC was one of the greatest games we ever saw.
Classic.
He took over. He won the game by himself.
Instant classic.
Yeah.
Instant classic.
And so you're like, wow, this guy's the future of the NFL.
Yeah. But a lot of that, I think they're not willing to work with those guys and change their systems. Me and you talked, I think, earlier about Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor stabbed up in his apartment yesterday. Terrell Pryor was a humongous talent at quarterback. Ohio State, right?
Yes.
And
went to the Raiders.
Went to the Raiders. They changed him to a receiver.
And then he went to the Browns, I think.
He wasn't a bad receiver at all, but his heart of hearts is quarterback. Now we got a man that's in critical condition, had to have surgery because he was stabbed out of the NFL because the NFL wouldn't take a chance on him being quarterback. He was Lamar Jackson is Michael Vick 2.0. He probably is Michael Vick 1.0.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Lamar Jackson is just a step up above the rest right now for what I'm seeing him do.
Well, and Ohio State didn't develop him really well either. We talked about that too. Ohio State doesn't develop their quarterbacks.
No, it's a program that they're using to win with these kids now, and that's about it. I remember last year watching Lamar play, and they was like, well, he can't throw, he can't read defenses, he can't do this, he can't do that. Okay, so y'all actually worked with him this year. I mean, last year, and look what you got now. When I seen him hit the sidearm throw that Pat Mahomes hits all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, don't ever say he can't throw the ball.
Oh, Mahomes? Yeah, we didn't even talk about him today yet.
I mean,
the book is not finished with him yet.
Yeah, I think that little injury has slowed him down, but it goes back to Pat Mahomes' coach, Andy Reid. Andy Reid just hasn't got over that hump to win the big game. He has a great successful system, great mind, great offensive mind.
Coach Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, I mean, does some great things, but it's just like getting over that hump. I watched Michigan's coach. What's his name?
Harbaugh.
I watched Harbaugh's interview yesterday. Did you see it?
No.
Harbaugh got
mad.
Him. Harbaugh got mad because the reporter asked, and it was an honest question. He's like, Coach, every year you can't get over the hump. Is it just a talent thing? Is Ohio State more talented? They have more talented players? Do they develop their players better? What do you think you can't get over the hump? He's like, I'm not going to answer a question that you're trying to insult me on. He's like, no, I'm asking an honest question.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? And, they were basically saying, like, you see Ohio State's kids running, and a Michigan kid is chasing it, and there's that kid just leaving, and there's a great distance of leaving. There's more talent there than there is at Michigan. So it was an open.
He gets out coached too.
Yeah, he definitely gets out coached. I like when he cut San Fran, but he just has a piece about him. Like usually you want your coaches animated, angry. And I see Nick Saban lose it yesterday because of that.
He lost it quite a few times yesterday.
Oh, that field goal with 1 second left, and he was like the time man. I was like, he doesn't coach like he's 70 years old
Well, in the locker room, he melted his coaches' faces off. All the assistants.
Yeah, I know he went in.
He was probably in their headquarters at 2 a.m. today, building for next season already. He doesn't care about whatever bowl game they're going to get.
No, he don't care about that crap.
He doesn't care.
Like I said, I figured they're going to probably play Oklahoma because they want to see Jalen Hurts go back. But it's not going to be Jalen Hurts versus Tua, so is it really interesting?
Sports Illustrated already wrote a story on why the Alabama as we know it is over, and I'm like, y'all are jumping the gun.
Well, I mean, one of the reporters said that the other day on TV because they watched Nick Saban let Tua play because Nick Saban was pulling him out, and Tua was like, "No, coach, hold on, let me get some more."
You're still the coach. You got to pull him out.
And just in that play, he got hurt. So they said this is the demise of Nick Saban right here. As you know it.
I think that's unfair, and I'm a big Alabama hater. I don't like them, but trust me.
Alabama hater coach.
We were in Beefs last night, and we're watching the game. I'm over there going. You got the Alabama fans over. I look over my shoulder, and they're over there whimpering. I'm like,
Yeah.
But I respect greatness when I see it. He is one of the greatest football coaches of our time, just like Bill Belichick is. And those two actually worked together when they were with the Browns. Think about that.
Yeah.
So, but Nick Saban is a great coach. He wins because he knows what he's doing. I don't blame him solely for the Tua thing. What I do say is you're the head coach.
Yeah.
You're up 35-7 in the first half.
Yeah.
Get your guy out of the game. He was already hurt coming into the game.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have played.
No.
If I blame anything at all, just don't play him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for the play. I know players want to play. Tua even said on the camera yesterday, "Oh, I'd be playing today."
Yeah.
Bro, it ain't up to you.
Yeah.
I'm your coach.
Yeah.
So I'll blame Saban for that part.
Yeah. If Tua plays yesterday, they beat Auburn easily. Those 2 pick sixes.
I don't know.
That field goal at the end.
I don't know. I mean, okay, even Tua.
He would have threw 2 pick sixes.
Let's be hypothetical.
Yeah.
And I know we got to wrap this thing up. Let's be hypothetical on the complicated legacy of Tua. I think I can sum him up like this.
Yeah.
I think he was lightning in a bottle. When he came in for Jalen Hurts, when you talk about coaching, that was a huge risk for Saban.
Mm-hmm.
To put in a guy to start your second half. You hadn't played him all year, and you're going to put him in the championship game. That was ballsy, dude.
Yeah.
He goes out and he wins, okay? Comes back the next year, Heisman, okay? Then they get blown out in the national championship game to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back this year, Heisman, okay? Gets his ankle just rolled up on. Shouldn't have played. I was never sold on Tua in the NFL. Never.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot. I've been watching the NFL since I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought and had. There was a lot of things about Tua that I'm like, great kid, love his leadership.
Yeah.
But he's fragile.
Yeah.
He's a fragile dude. He's not tough.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with up here or his heart. His body is not built for the NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
Period, point blank. So even if he comes back, he's not going to be the same guy that we saw at Alabama.
Well, now he's going to watch his counterpart probably take the #1 spot at Miami.
Oh.
Jalen is going to Miami now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Jalen, I was the guy speaking up for him like, really?
He's a great kid.
He's a great attitude, great guy. And last I checked, I think he only lost 2 games at Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, they kept saying he couldn't throw. Nobody developed him.
Didn't develop him.
They didn't develop him at all. In Oklahoma, you see a total different.
That's coaching.
It's definitely coaching. And I mean, they was talking about the Oklahoma coach possibly coming to the NFL too, to Dallas. So it's a lot of big names being thrown out there, but you got to be able to develop your players. I don't think Jameis Winston has been developed. So Jameis Winston has a talent, but Jameis is I almost called him an idiot. I'm not gonna do that. Jameis just does dumb stuff.
He's not smart.
And the thing is, he needs a mentor that's constantly with him like daily. He needs great people around.
You're saying he needs a babysitter.
He definitely needs a babysitter. But I mean, he needs somebody like that he looks up to talk to him. I think I told you about that clip when Kevin Hart went to Florida State and he was cracking on all the players.
Yes.
And he went up to Jameis and he said, "Stop doing dumb."
Yeah.
And Jameis was mad. He was livid, like looking at him like, how dare you talk to me like that? But this has been a behavior that has been allowed to happen since he was little. And if you don't nip it in the bud now, I know I said a lot of harsh things this week to parents when I say, hey, guys, we out of school, check your kids' focus.
Yeah.
Check absences and tardings first. Then start looking at the grades.
It's funny when you posted that. I was already doing it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of parents don't do that. And
right.
then when your kid tells you, oh, I was in this class, my teacher just marked me absent. That's the time you need to be calling. And why didn't you get an alert?
Yeah.
That means they have went in and changed your phone number to theirs. Kids are smart nowadays. And we got to realize that. But we allow behaviors. And I also said what's cute right now and what's funny right now won't be cute 13 years from now.
Well, so
That's a different story.
I'm going to tell you, you're a nicer person than me when it comes to Jameis, and I'm going to say it like this, and I think we probably need to say bye-bye for today. Being a Bucs fan, and this has nothing to do with personal, it's just football.
Oh, yeah.
This is my summation of Jameis Winston. Number one, I never wanted him in the first place because I saw this happening.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if you're going to take all the glory, you need to take the criticism.
Yeah.
You need to be a man. And I'd tell him the same thing if I was sitting down with him. I don't care if you take a swing at me or not. You had 2 good seasons in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good rookie season. You had a good second year. You were breaking records. Mm-hmm. So if you want to take all that, then explain to me the last 3 seasons. Especially explain to me this year when you're leading the league in interceptions. Explain to me that when you get up in front of your press conferences day after day and your eyes are this big, you're like, just got to get better. Just got to get better. No, I don't want to hear that you just got to get better. Dude, you're 5 years in, brother. 5 years. And again.
And he's still in his rookie deal?
Yeah, that's what's
like $1 million
it's a rookie deal. I don't even know what it is, but that's standard. That's standard ops. You get 4 to 5 years on your rookie deal. This is his option year coming up. I don't want to hear about second chances anymore. We gave you a second chance when you put your hand on that girl's lap in the Uber.
Yeah.
We should have cut you then. Should have suspended you then. Should have fined you then. Gave you a second chance. You're not when you're eating a W on the center of the field with Saints. I mean, dude, I know that you agree with me.
Hey, listen, that was a great moment in
that's terrible.
A great moment in just stupid history.
That's a meme forever. Eat a W. What?
I was like, yeah, he has no guy.
I can't forgive you for that. I'm sorry, I can't forgive you. I just can't do it. I can't stomach that. You got to go win a Super Bowl for me, and we'll talk.
Hey, listen, Jimbo coddled him at Florida.
Oh, he did, and he squeezed every little bit out of him.
He allowed him to be who he was.
Yep.
Because of wins. Urban Meyer did the same thing when you think about the team that he had.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yes. I mean, some of these murders were going on when he was in college.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine coaching a player you're scared of?
Yeah.
Hey, go run some laps. What, coach?
Yeah.
I was just playing.
Coach, so I got some friends, We can talk about this.
Hey, listen, you had Tebow around him that was like a leader to all of them. They said, but the whole team respected him. So no matter what they were doing,
Tebow held that thing together,
They didn't do it in front of him.
Yeah.
And he definitely held that right there together. But
you had Jesus Christ and you had the devil on the same team.
And then you think about all the players that went to jail that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I could just be behind the scenes and just see some of the crap.
You wouldn't be a Gator fan anymore if you were.
Like, what the heck?
The price of winning.
Yes.
The price of winning.
It comes at a price. If you gotta, but I mean, Nick Saban to get you out of there quick though.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we had a kid come from here. I don't want to say his name, but he was like 6'6". He was like the greatest quarterback safety I had seen up close in person. He was a talent, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Alabama, man. They had him out there. He was going to be starting safety the next day. They was putting him on all the flyers. His ticket was punched for the NFL. did some dumb stuff. Some friends at the store that they robbed the store. Nick Saban got them out just like that. And I'm like, NFL, gone.
Gone.
Just like that. And I started thinking about all the players from here that made it. And I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, and I think that officially that can sum up everything we've been talking about is with the opportunities that the black quarterbacks that we've discussed. I think that most of these guys made the best of it. And it is about opportunity. It's still America. You got to kick the door down. You got to take your chance while you got it.
Yeah.
We talked about Colin Kaepernick today, and look, he's had more than enough chances. I think we can all say that now. If anybody doesn't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. You and I are always going to respectfully disagree, and that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
I think what I'm getting out of the message today, that's the reason why we did it, is that football right now, in the NFL especially, is in the golden age. That guys are getting opportunities now that they never would have gotten before. So enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Watch these guys, and don't look at it through the lens of color anymore. Can we please try to do that? And let's say, oh, he's a great quarterback for a runner. Oh, he's a great quarterback because we didn't think he was smart enough to run the offense.
Yeah.
Doug Williams was asked that question before Super Bowl 22. How does it feel to be a black quarterback in the NFL? And he said, I've always been black. I don't know what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Can we get away from questions like that and just look at these guys with no color and say, look, he's got the skill set to lead my team. He can run, he can pass, he can think, he can lead. He's a quarterback. Why does it matter what color he is?
Yeah.
Let's get away from that. And I think even the media needs to get away from that because the media is feeding into it too.
Oh, yeah.
Black this, and there's a black quarterback, let's celebrate. No, let's celebrate our athletes for who they are. Let's not look at McCaffrey with the running back with the Carolina Panthers and call him white chocolate. No, let's call him a great running back. Let's call him a guy who's an MVP candidate leading a team that they're really, with your best player gone, you're still in the discussion anyway.
Yeah.
Celebrate football for what it is. Can we please get back to that? Can we get the politics out of it? That would be great because college football doesn't have politics in it.
Yeah. I mean, the one quarterback I was talking about was Dante Culpepper.
Oh, yes. Man, a shooting star.
Yeah, UCF.
Shooting star.
Just think about it. The characters that was around him at that particular time. He had Chris Carter.
Yeah, he was after Randall.
Yeah.
He had Moss and he had Carter.
And I watched a 30 for 30 on Chris Carter. Chris Carter was a bad boy. I didn't know all
bad
that
as
stuff.
in
I didn't
drugs.
know all that stuff had went on.
He's having troubles right now.
No, they fired him from Fox. I could never figure out why. And I would listen to him say certain things. I was like, did you just say that? And then the next day he wasn't there.
He's got a bad temper.
Yeah, he's got a real bad temper. But he would tell you though he needed to get let go. I forgot the first team that he was on.
He's with the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles let go of him. He said that was the best thing that ever happened.
Failed a drug test.
He said that put him in check. And he went on to Minnesota. And then you think about Randy Moss, Chris Carter.
And he mentored Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Without that's funny how that worked out. That was a God thing because without Moss having Chris Carter there, we don't know Randy Moss as we know him today.
Yeah.
Because he was not a good dude.
Yeah, Randy Moss was at Florida State.
He was at Florida
Oh my God. Florida State would have called on him. They did Deion Sanders that way.
They would have won a national championship.
I'm telling you now, though, Florida State want to win. That's what we can go back to. That one question I got when they said, what could Miami do to win now? I think Miami has to hire a Miami guy. I mean,
it does come down to coaching. Look at your coach.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing.
Yeah, whether it's like Ed Reed, somebody that used to go there.
Not Michael Irvin, though. He's crazy.
No, definitely not Michael Irvin. But I think Ed Reed,
You want Ray Lewis as the coach there? Can you imagine?
I mean, you think about the motivational speeches you get and not giving away anything. Oh man, that would be turned up.
I'd like to be in the locker room for that.
Yeah, and if Florida State, I'm telling you, hires
Deion
Sanders. Deion Sanders needs to be the #1 guy right now for Florida State. I don't want to hear no other crap. The guy can recruit.
Sell tickets.
The guy has stopped being on TV so much because he takes being an offensive coordinator that serious in Texas. He is all about that. His kid is about to go into college right now. You want another prime time at Florida State? That's what needs to happen. But I watched Florida State sideline last night, and I was like, you guys can't sit here and say it was Willie Taggart's fault.
No, not at all. Not at all.
A culture had been created already there that Willie had to get over and had to fix, and he just didn't get the chance to fix it.
Well, it just goes back to pride, you know. I mean, even I'll give you a quick example. And when we were doing practice yesterday, so we have the offense going against defense. Defense has to get a stop.
Yeah.
The defense didn't get a stop 12 consecutive times, coach. And I went to them and said, y'all got to have pride.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pride, even though we're told that's one of the 7 deadly sins, comes down to that sometimes in sports.
Yeah.
Separates you from life, where you gotta dig in and look at your teammates and say, look, we need one stop.
Mm-hmm.
So in Florida State's case and in Miami's case, you need a guy who has been not just a fan, but you've been in the battles, you've been in the trenches. I would love, not just because of Deion, who he is and who he was, but because he is a football guy. He loves the game. I need to see somebody for Miami come up and say, these are my guys, and I'm going to ride with them. I'm not a celebrity anymore. Look at me as your coach. Yeah. And then we'll get back to real football.
That's what I'm saying. Deion has stopped being on the NFL Network so much because he's taken coaching.
He's serious.
He is very serious about his craft.
Yeah.
And, like, for somebody that is beloved by Florida State the way he is, I think it would be a full embrace. One thing I can say about Florida State broke the mold, and I would give them props on that. Florida State hired, like, for Division I school, like, a first black coach.
They took a chance,
and I was like, wow, Florida State is doing something major. The Gators had never done that. Miami done it. Miami did it with Shannon and those different guys.
Even my school, University of South Florida, with Charlie Strong, but he's on the hot seat now.
He's definitely on the hot seat. But, I mean, that was amazing for me to see Florida State do that. But then to not give him the chance that I felt like he deserved. They said Bobby Bowden was irate.
I'm sure.
He was just like, this is not how we do things. It can't go like that. Because Bobby's first years at Florida State didn't go like he
took him like 7 or 8 years to get good.
To finally get it.
Guys don't get that much time now.
No, because the fans are impatient and they want to win now, and they will fire you quick. It's the same thing in life. Marriage don't work out. All right, let's get divorced.
What have you done for me lately, man?
Yeah, it's always that. But I applaud Florida State for giving up that chance. A lot of places definitely got to start taking chances on their alumni and giving those guys a chance. And don't be so held down by the boosters. Oh man, the boosters make more decisions than the director boards of directors.
Kind of like parents in schools, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
we're not gonna go down that road right now.
I seen an email from a booster. I like lost my mind some of the stuff he was telling the head coach that they were going to do and that he needed to do to run the program. People, they haven't gotten beside themselves with that. I mean, let the coaches coach. Boosters, y'all are there to raise money, make sure funds are constantly going in, regardless of how you feel about the coach. Yeah. Have a working relationship, man. It's too much going on. There's so much right now that needs to happen to fix Florida.
A lot. Well, man, hey, look, I want to give a shout out to everybody. I just wrote it on there. Thank you for tuning in today. I think we're a little rusty, but we're at a lot of practice. Yeah. Coach and me, our schedules right now are definitely getting more complicated. Not an excuse, just the fact we're both coaching high school basketball. He's over at Rudd. I'm at Mosley, the good side. Hey, if you get a chance, if you're local, come out and support us. We'd love that. We both have some teams that are super competitive in Bay County. We'd love to see y'all out there. Give us a shout. And we've got 108 members now, I think, on our JOB Podcast fan page on Facebook. And I think we're getting some more fans every day. We are just 5 shows away from number 20. That was such a blessing because when we started this, you couldn't even think that far ahead, you know. And hopefully my man here can stay in town. I know he's trying. I really hope he can stay because I think we are just scratching the surface. I don't even think we've had our best show yet. We are an undiscovered gem. I think in time, when people start getting on the bus, we'll be bigger. You got any parting shots you want to give out there today?
Just shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the schools down here. All the teams now starting basketball. Shout out to all the girls basketball teams. Yeah. You know, I'm a girls basketball fan first.
Coach Snell, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, Coach Snell. It's been a pleasure coaching with Coach Ross at Rutherford. I mean, listen, whew,
He's a character, man.
He has a system. He is one of the great basketball minds that we just don't take advantage of, or just like picking his brain on certain stuff. I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I do that last year? So I learned so much just by sitting up under that tutelage that it's been a great experience. But of course, you know me, I'm thinking I'm ready for high school football all over again.
Yeah, you're a football guy.
Thinking about next season, college-wise. This is my first year loving football that my Steelers and Gators both lost to starting quarterbacks. Gators I wasn't mad about.
Yeah, that was okay. That was okay.
But the Steelers, now it's time to start recruiting right now.
Rebuild?
We need a quarterback ASAP. So shout out to everybody, man. Continue to support us.
Steelers game is on right now, in fact, kicking off here. Bucks game is on now, too. So it's time to go, and I think my man here is going to get some food and get a nap today.
Yes.
Happy December 1st, by the way, everybody. November just kind of disappeared, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I know we were very blessed to have our first one here in this house, and just wanting normalcy this year. No sickness, no storms, and happy smiles and laughter on everybody's faces would be just fine for me. So everybody, hey, have a great week, and be blessed out there. Again, thank you for supporting us on this journey. We are very, very thankful. Without you, we are nothing. We don't have a show. So please keep spreading the word. Hopefully we get some merchandise out there in the coming year in 2020.
Yeah.
Get some bracelets out there like these. Get some t-shirts out there like we wear. And we love y'all. And we hope to get more in the community in 2020 and be more out there where you can see us and hear us and just get more acquainted with us.
Go Gators.
For Coach Ty Steele here, I'm Dave Ford. Have a great day. Have a great week. Be blessed.
Go
Peace.
Gators. Sorry, Florida State. Go Gators.